two, one. Let's go. All right. Let me say welcome everybody to Lariat Goes Live. This is being recorded live. Um, so feel free to hit that subscription button and follow along for subscribe for content for sure. Tonight I actually want to hear y'all's craziest relationship stories. That's what I want to hear. Give me something crazy, y'all. Something crazy, something good, something juicy. But I also want to say within the same breath that when you're telling us these crazy stories, don't use any names. That way, things can remain anonymous. It can be what's that word called? Anonymity to the story. I just want to hear the juiciness of the story. Keep it real. I want you to keep the story real. Nothing fictional. Like, keep the story real. Alrighty? But don't expose any names. So that is like, let me write that here because I don't have a moderator. So I'm going to say, I want to hear your craziest relationship stories. All right, so that works. So I want to hear your craziest relationship stories. That's what we're focusing on tonight. And while we are loading and waiting for the algorithm to, push things out there, why can't I not see the stream? That is weird, y'all. Can everybody hear me clearly? Is anybody else on the live? Type in the chat if you're on the live. And while we're waiting, let's get into some stories. Well, it's like YouTube stories anyway. You know what I mean?
To be your cautionary tale. Do not do it. Do not do it. Look, unfortunately, it's a canon event for most women, but I'm here to tell you that that coworker is not worth the headache. So this story is back from my time working in corporate, and I was living in Brooklyn at the time that I met this man. We were working at the same company. He started maybe 6 months or so after I did. We had, introduced ourselves to each other at this work meeting, but he was working in Atlanta. I was working in New York. So of course, nothing really came from it at that time. Now, flash forward, I end up getting an opportunity to move teams and go down to Atlanta from New York. It was super, super quick, and it was actually quite dramatic, if I'm being honest. I drove all the way from New York down to Atlanta with all of my belongings in a rental car. It was crazy. So anyway, I am meeting my team members. I'm getting to know everyone. And the thing is, this guy and I were on the same team, but we were not direct partners. So we wouldn't see each other on a day-to-day basis. We would only see each other when there were team meetings or team gatherings. It was interesting because in Atlanta, my team was mostly Black, whereas in New York, it had been more mixed. This team got together a lot more often. They were, always doing like happy hours and little get-togethers and things like that. Mind you guys, just so you know, this job was a field-based sales job. I did not have an office that I was clocking into, neither did he. We all just kind of like did our jobs in our own area of Atlanta. In order for us to see each other, basically either has to be a work thing or we have to coordinate it. When I first get down there, we're hanging out with the group, nothing extra outside of the time that's being spent collectively. But as time goes on, he and I are texting and getting to know each other one-on-one. So we're talking to each other offline, but one thing about it is that we were very careful to not make the other coworkers aware of what was going on because that would be messy. I had enough sense to know that I didn't want other people to know, but not enough sense to not deal with it.
All right, so she's talking about dating a coworker. She's telling her crazy story, but I want to hear y'all's crazy story. Hers is dating a coworker. She's also given advice that you should not date your coworker. It never ends well. I mean, some people can definitely find love, don't get me wrong, but she's saying it's not something that you want to get into, my guy. So it's really up to you if you want to date your coworker. Again, I want to hear your crazy story. The moment I get somebody in with a story, then we're going to stop the recording that we got. All right, y'all? But I want to hear your crazy story, y'all.
I mean, you live and you learn. I was in like my early 20s at this time.
I was also in my early 20s when I thought it was such a amazing idea to date a coworker. And when I started that job, my mom literally said to me, do not ever date a coworker. And I thought, yeah, whatever. I'm grown. Okay, I am a woman now. You can't tell me what to do. And I did see that cute coworker and I
So let me ask y'all in the comment section, have y'all ever dated your coworker? Why am I hearing a log in this thing, bro? This is a little bit weird, y'all. Let me see if I can fix that little log that I'm hearing. If I take this out, can y'all still hear me? I hope y'all can still hear me. All right, let's see if that still is there or is better.
thought to myself, oh yes.
All right, we're not hearing nothing. God damn, we ain't hearing shit, y'all. So I guess that was wrong. No, it's working. What the hell, bruh?
And he broke
Not
up
me
with
having
me.
technical
And
difficulties for the
he
live.
actually didn't like
Look at me having technical difficulties. That's crazy. I'm gonna fix it. I think I got it, y'all. I got it fixed. I got it fixed. All right, here we go.
one of our other coworkers,
Tough,
a woman who I sat next to her at work.
tough,
It was
tough,
just me
tough,
and
tough,
her
tough.
there. He wanted me to stop talking to her out of like respect for him because he didn't like her. And I thought to myself, are you stupid? I mean, I was young but I knew that wasn't right. And I decided that I wasn't going to stop talking to her. And he decided that if I won't stop talking to her, he was going to leave me, which he did. And then everybody in the office knew that we were together and that we broke up. And every time he came into the office where I was, it was just very awkward. It was awkward for me and it was awkward for everybody else. And it was so embarrassing. And I wish I had listened to my mom. So, yeah, I know there's going to be somebody out there who's going to say,
See, sometimes our mothers know best. You know, mothers sometimes know best. So sometimes you need to listen to y'all's mom. But if you've ever dated a coworker, I want you to type in the chat. Also, tell me like what happened during that particular relationship. Did y'all have a happier ever after, or did it become like toxic? Did it become toxic when you dated your coworker? Because the problem is when you date your coworker, if you guys are, let me say, welcome to my viewer. If you guys are arguing at home, you don't get any breathing space when you go to work to kind of decompress and forget the craziness. You know, you go right back to work and then your partner is there. Hence why I always recommend that it is good if you don't date a coworker. That way you can have that breathing room to collect yourself, because there are times when you're heated and you just want to be away from your partner. I don't know them way there.
oh, I met my husband at a job. Yeah, you're the exception. Okay. The rest of us, please don't date a coworker. The love of your life is not at that job.
Talking to each other. We're now spending some time with each other outside of the get togethers. I would say that we're in like a talking stage. During this talking stage, we get physical, and I basically tell him that I am totally okay with him, doing his own thing. Like, yes, we're both technically still single. I'm fine with him doing whatever. But if he is going to sleep with anyone else, I want to know that he's doing that because I will remove myself. I'm fine with us not being in a relationship, but I don't want to be dealing with someone who's also sleeping with other people, right?
He's not going to tell you that. Ooh, men. No, that arrangement will absolutely not work for him. A man will definitely want to have his cake and eat it too. So the moment he gets with another woman, he's going to say, oh, well, we were not actually technically together. So there wasn't really much to tell. Nah, no.
So
I mean, she's right. Again, you got some guys who do have that level of principle, and they will tell you like, "Hey, I got another cake that I'm having to keep it kosher." Some guys might, but majority won't. You know what I'm saying? It's I guess for men, sometimes it's like a numbers thing. You get that bragging rights. You know them with it?
Make that clear to him. He's in agreement, whatever. We're on the same page or so, I think. One thing about this guy is that he had a child. And at that time, in my early 20s, I could not fathom having a kid. Me now as a mom, I know how much responsibility that is. But back then, I just didn't want the headache. But he was basically...
Damn, why she's putting on so much makeup, bro? Like, can't even see her real face.
The first guy that I had talked to seriously who had kids or a kid. So he's kind of like flying back to where he's from to see his daughter. At that time as well, I just was going through a lot personally and professionally. So I had a lot going on. So I wasn't as diligent, I guess, as I should have been. I can admit that. He would be gone and he would be with his daughter, whatever. And I wasn't questioning it. I wasn't doubting anything he was telling me because I didn't really feel like I had a reason to do that. The only thing is he wasn't super consistent. And this should have been my flag to know that something was up. But I just figured that he's a dad. You know, I don't know what it means to be a parent at this time in my life. So I'm just thinking, oh, he's really busy with his daughter. Things are good whenever we see each other. We are, you know, getting food together. We're hanging out together. He's, you know, bringing me food when he comes over, but he never stays over. He never stays over. And again, to me, I'm not clocking it. I'm not thinking that there's anything fishy about this. But of course, as more things come to light is when I'm like, oh, okay, now it all tracks. So we had this work trip in San Diego and he and I were on the same flight. We go in together. He gets a rental car and he says that he wants to puff on something from California. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not a big smoker, you guys. I can count on one hand the number of times. No, that's a lie. On probably two hands the number of times I have smoked. It makes me paranoid. It makes me act weird. And I told him that. I literally said verbatim, I don't smoke a lot because it makes me just act weird. And he's like, okay, don't worry, like I got you, I'll take care of you, whatever. So we end up smoking, and at some point I remember things got awkward between us, but I don't remember what caused it because I was under the influence, right? We end up going through the rest of the meeting and he's just acting weird, like kind of standoffish, kind of just like distant, and I don't know what.
Damn, what y'all think about the story? I don't know. I think she should just kind of cut it down and get right to the point. Like it's getting drawn out, or maybe it's just because I'm tired.
What's up with him? But I'm not gonna baby a road man. I'm not asking him like, oh, what's wrong? Are you okay? I'm just like, okay, he's acting weird, but that's his problem, not mine. We end up leaving the meeting. We get back to Atlanta, and you guys, not 2 days later after being back, I remember that I was literally laying in bed. I am just relaxing, and our work group chat goes off. This work group chat was just the salespeople. It wasn't with my manager. So, you know, we kind of talk a bit more casually in this group chat. So I hear it going off, and so I'm like, oh, what is it? So I kind of like open my eyes, and you guys, I go in this work group chat. Nothing could have prepared me for what I was about to see. I open it up and I see a lovely young lady, beautiful girl, with a big rock on her finger. I swear to you guys, the picture is her like this, cheesing. She's super happy, obviously just got engaged. And it is the guy that I am talking to, my coworker, with his arm around her. And he...
Damn, bro. I mean, I saw it coming the moment she made mention that he doesn't stay over and stuff like that. Yeah, boss, he have something else on his side, you know, or he's in a committed relationship. Again, I'm not judging him because I'm not going like I'm better than anybody. But, you know, how do you say, you never see smoke without fire? You know, the smoke was there, bro, to tell you about that fire. You see it?
He has sent this picture into our group chat and says, I'm celebrating something very special, like your boy got engaged or something like that. Congratulations. Oh my gosh. Congrats. Guys, I was speechless. I could not.
But again, she told him that, you know, it's not like they're in a relationship with, what you want to say, with labels on it. You know, there was no labels on it. So, yeah, she still shouldn't feel no way because it wasn't like exclusive. Is he pretty?
Believe it. Like, engaged?
If this is not something that, I mean, she did say they talk really casually in the group chat, but if this is not something that typically like, or like things like this are not things that are typically sent in the group chat, sending this in the group chat was his way of ending it with her.
Yeah.
Like he finally decided to treat his woman right and get engaged to her, and he wanted to end things with this woman, so he sent the picture as a way to end it. What a coward. And first of all, what an awful man to be.
A coward. Yeah, I believe that was a cowardice move or coward move. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody deal with situation differently. It's easy to say after after the fact that this is how you should have approached it. It's always easy to say after the fact. In the instant, it changes. Like, you know, sometimes you just don't want to deal with it, bro. You see it? She just says, all right, yo, do it that way, yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Cheating on this woman that he's now engaged with, because I'm sure they didn't just start dating out of the blue. Like they've been together. People don't just get engaged on a whim. They've been together. Oh my gosh.
Engaged? Oh my gosh. So obviously I am so confused. I am irate because what do you mean engaged? You have involuntarily made me the other woman, obviously, because you're getting married. Like, you've known this woman. You have to have known this woman, which just blew my mind. So now I'm thinking back to all of the times where I'm thinking he's with his daughter. He's most likely with his soon to be fiance. I'm thinking that he's taking care of work and business and all these other things. And no, he's got a whole relationship that he is hiding. At least that's everything that I'm thinking when I find out about this engagement. So you guys, this was messy of me because my whole thing was I don't want anyone to know what's going on. But I was so pissed off. I literally left the group chat. It's funny when I think back to it, and I'll put it in here if I can find it. It literally is him making the post, everyone hearting it, everyone just congratulating him and so happy for him. I just left the chat. I never rejoined that chat. Like, the audacity to make me the other woman against my will and without my knowledge is quite literally one of the most disrespectful things I've ever experienced. Take me out the group chat, like quite literally, leave me out of it. You guys, I leave the group chat, I sit with it for a good 10 minutes and then I can't hold it in anymore. I send him honestly the worst crash out I've ever had in my life. Because what are you talking about? Mind you, we had just left for the meeting. I want to say the meeting was on a Monday. We had just been with each other. And when I say been with each other, I mean been with each other on Friday. So we do what we do on Friday. We go to this meeting, we smoke together, you start acting weird. And then we get back from the meeting a few days after.
Yeah, so he started acting weird because he knew that, you know, this was his last smash. He's like, yeah, this is the last time, you know. And then I'm gonna give her that weird cold shoulder. But again, she said earlier, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, that there was no labels to it. But she didn't make mention that if he found somebody else to let her know. She did say that, so, you know, I don't think this video is gonna be long, y'all. I'm tired. I'm tired, y'all. I might put up early for sure. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put up early because nobody know too about on the live for sure. So I'm not getting to hear anybody crazy stories. So I must stop the stream. Big up on yourself, though, I know.